Hi, I'm Johnny from UltimatePaperMache.com, and in my last video I showed you that I was building this baby unicorn and his friend, a little bunny. And I got kind of sidetracked on another project, so I haven't got the pattern finished yet for the unicorn. Well, the pattern itself was done a long time ago, obviously, or I wouldn't have been able to make him, but all the instructions are taking a long time to write. This fellow, though, was done, and a lot of you folks were interested in the rabbit himself, and so I thought I'd go ahead and put out the pattern and instructions for the rabbit out on my website. So if you really want to make one of these before Christmas, you'd have a chance to. You should still have time. He was made with Apoxie Sculpt. I think you could also make it with the air-dry clay recipe that you can find in the art library. There's a link to the art library at the top of my website, so you can always find all my recipes. I made mine with Apoxie Sculpt, so the instructions that come with the pattern are with Apoxie Sculpt. So if you want to try the air-dry clay, you'd kind of be on your own for that. I'm also thinking, because you only need such a small amount, it might actually be less expensive to get the 1 pound Apoxie Sculpt rather than to get all of the ingredients for one of the homemade recipes, but you'd have to do the math yourself. I'm not really sure about that. This fellow was really easy to put together. I'm using slightly different methods for putting together than I have for most of the patterns that you've seen out on my website, and that's mostly because of his size. Like for his arms, for instance, he doesn't have a pattern at all. That's just a wire in there. There's a pattern for bending the wire, but the leg itself doesn't need a pattern because that's just a wire covered with the Apoxie Sculpt, and then it's attached to the body. So that part of it is real straightforward. The instructions for putting it together with the patterns made out of cardboard and aluminum foil, that's all in the instructions. And these ears were kind of fun. Those are in there too. The only thing that's different about this fellow is the eyes. And that's just because I've never made eyes this way before. In this video, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I did that with the Apoxie Sculpt. I don't know if this method would work with any other kind of animal, but it worked really good for this rabbit. So let me show you how I did that. The rabbit pattern itself, not the unicorn yet, but the rabbit is online now. I'll put a link to it right down below. if you do make one, I really hope you'll come back to the website and show him off. I would really like to see how it comes out. I know that every single person who makes one of these is going to make it just a little bit different, and I think those variations are so much fun to see. So come on back and visit me, ultimatepapermache.com. I'll see you there.